What do you notice about the birds?
Good morning, my environmental detective friends. Looking forward to doing some new investigations and detective work with you. Let's go find clues right here in our own neighborhood environment.
Hi friends, welcome back. It's Miss French. In the last episode, we saw that the squirrels at Wildcare were finally released. Hooray for the squirrels! Our friends at Wildcare, they also help injured birds. Let's observe some pictures and some videos of birds to help us make our inquiry chart. As you watch, think to yourself, what do I know about birds? And what do I want to know about birds? Thumbs up if you love those videos and pictures as much as I did. These are some observations and some questions that some of our friends had about the videos and pictures. This is our inquiry chart, friends, and on this side it says what we think we know about birds. These are the statements, what people think they know. I'm going to read them and I'll tell you who shared the statements also. Birds fly. Birds have feathers. They eat from Alessandra. They lay eggs, Alessandra. They make nests out of leaves and twigs from Sebastian. These were things that they noticed or what they think they know about birds. Thanks, friends. On this side, we have all the questions or wonderings about birds. This says what we want to know about birds. How do birds fly? From Maddox. Do all birds fly? What makes a bird? Maddox. How high do they fly? Alessandra. Why do robins have blue eggs and other birds have white eggs? From Owen. Why do birds have different colors? Owen. Do all birds eat worms? Maddox. I'm going to highlight in these questions all of the words that let us know that this is a question and not a statement. How? That's a question word. Do. Say it with me. Do. What? Say it with me. What? How? Why? Say it with me. Why? Why and do. Those are all words that let us know asking a question. And you can see they all end with a question mark. Here is a poem that connects to our inquiry chart because the title of it is Bird Wonderings, which means our questions we have. This poem was written by my friends and myself, M. Guerrero, E. Smith, C. Lunde, and D. French. Sing it with me, friends. Join in when you're ready. We have questions about birds. Let me share what I have heard. Where do birds like to nest? Are branches on the tree the best? Sound off feathers, sound off wings, sound off 1, 2, 3, 4. What makes a bird a bird? Do all types of birds eat worms? Can all beaks grab things that squirm? Which birds in the sky can glide? Does the size and structure determine the ride? Sound off beaks, sound off structure, sound off 1, 2, 3, 4. Who wants to investigate? Let's watch the video again and see if we have more questions about birds. Get your paper and pencil ready. Be ready to record what you know about birds and what you want to know. Hold up your list of questions that you just created. I can't wait to read them all. Make sure you send them in so we can add them to our chart as we go along in our program. We're going to go back to our poem called Bird Wonderings by M. Guerrero, E. Smith, C. Lunde, and D. French. And this time we're going to highlight all of the words in this poem that let us know it's a question. As we read, we'll stop and we'll highlight. We have questions about birds. I'm going to highlight the word questions because that's what we're focusing in on, friends. Questions. Let me share what I have heard. Where do birds like to nest? Say where. Where is a question word that helps us figure out the location where something is at. Are branches on the tree the best? Sound off feathers, sound off wings, sound off 1, 2, 3, 4. What makes a bird a bird? Another question word I heard. I'm going to highlight it. The word what helps explain something. This was the question from Maddox. Thanks, Maddox. Over here on the next part of our song. Do all types of birds eat worms? Question word. You're wondering, can I prove it? Is it true? Is it all of them or just some of them? And which ones? Can all beaks grab things that squirm? That's another question word. Which birds in the sky can glide? Which? I wonder. Question word. Does the size and structure determine the ride? Does. Another question word. Sound off beaks, sound off structure, sound off 1, 2, 3, 4. Who? That means a person. You're asking who wants to investigate. And notice, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's also another clue that it's a question. Now we're going to look back at all those questions that kids asked about birds on our inquiry chart. This side says what we want to know about birds, and these are all the questions that kids asked with those question words like how, do, what, why, with a question mark at the end. These questions, friends, can be sorted into 3 different groups. Some questions you can only answer by doing research. You got to read a book, go on the computer, or ask an expert. Some questions you can answer by observing, using your eyes over time. Other questions you can investigate, and that's where you make a plan, you do an action, and then you figure it out. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through this list of questions, and if it's a question that we would have to research, I'm going to put an R by it, and you're going to go like this at home, which means I got to research. If it's a question we would observe over time, you're going to touch your eye like this, and I'm going to make an O on it. If it's a question we could investigate, like make a plan and do something, you're going to go like this with your magnifying lens. So let's come over to our list of questions. How do birds fly? Show me what kind of a question, how would we find that answer? Research, observation, or investigate? I totally agree with what you're showing me. This question, we'd pretty much have to do research with. Do all birds fly? Think, think, think. Research, observation, investigate. Well, I guess if I went around and I looked at a lot of birds, I watched them, I could probably answer this question if I could see a lot of birds with observation. So I'll put an O. What makes a bird a bird? Show me. Research, observation, investigate. I agree. Research. We'd have to read, look on the computer, or ask an expert. How high do they fly? I agree. If we watched a lot of birds, we could see how high they go in the sky. Why do robins have blue eggs and other birds have white eggs? Show me what you think. Research, observe, investigate. I agree. Another one for research. Why do birds have different colors? Research, observe, investigate. Research is correct. Usually when a question starts with why, you kind of have to do research with it. Do all birds eat worms? Well, I could observe that over time, absolutely, but I'd have to watch a lot of birds. So I'm going to put an O here. But then I'm saying to myself, how could I take this question and turn it into something I could do, I could investigate with? I'm thinking, thinking, thinking. I like this do. Instead of do all birds eat worms, I'm going to change it a little bit. Do all birds eat the same food? That's something where I could make a plan and investigate. So I'm going to write that question here. Read it with me as I write it. Do all birds eat the same food? And I'm going to put an I here for investigate because in the next episode, we'll learn how we could make bird feeders to investigate if all birds eat the same food. Thanks, friends.
Hello, my environmental detective friends. It's me, Wild Chives, and we're here at Glenwood Marsh, and let's move like birds together. Okay. Let's crouch down like our
Duck on the grass.
You can round your back, you can get nice and small, and let's just sit here together for a couple of seconds. I'll mind the time. Okay, let's kneel like our bluebird. Are you ready? I'm gonna turn so you can see. We're gonna make our backs nice and straight and tall, and our feet are gonna go straight out behind us. You can round your shoulders. And take a couple of deep breaths. Okay. Now let's get up and do some twisting, just like our peregrine falcon. Okay, so let's turn around and twist to the left. And twist to the right. Okay. All right, last one. We've seen so many pictures of birds flying. Let's see if we can make our bodies go like those birds. So we're gonna stand on one foot and put our arms out. So let's stand on our right foot first. Our left leg can go back. You're gonna have to use some balance, and when you feel ready, you can put your arms out. Okay, let's do it again, this time on our left foot, and I'm gonna turn so you can see the shape of my body. All right, so you'll put your right foot out, and when you're ready, you can put your arms out as well. Ooh, it's a little hard to balance. So if you fall over, that's okay, just try it again.
We created a question together that all of us can investigate. The question that we created together is, do all birds eat the same food? When scientists ask a question, ornithologists, thank you, they use something called an inquiry cycle. It's a process or a way of thinking. In an inquiry cycle, we always start with our question. And here it is, I wrote it up for us. Our question is, do all birds eat the same food? Now that we have a question, we make a prediction. What do we think the answer is going to be before we investigate? Some of our ornithologists let us know what they're predicting. This is from Maddox. We predict all birds eat worms and some eat other things also. Thanks, Maddox, for that prediction. We'll see if that's true or not. After we make a prediction, we come up with a plan. A plan is an action, like what are we going to do to find out, to prove if our prediction is correct or not? Our plan is we're going to make a bird feeder and then watch or observe the birds. Thanks, ornithologists Maddox and Owen. What will we need? These are the materials to find out. Binoculars, possibly, a camera, paper, pencil, and a bird feeder. Now's the fun part. Here's the beginning. We have our question, our prediction, our plan, and our materials. Now we get to go and investigate. That's your job, friends. Go find out. Make sure to collect the evidence. That's how you can prove something is true. Share it with us so that we can answer this next time, and then we'll think of some new questions.
Hi, my environmental detective friends, Wild Chives here, and today we're going to be making a bird feeder together. Why are we making a bird feeder? Well, one of our questions that we are thinking about is, do all birds eat the same kind of food? And to figure that out, I know part of my plan is to try to see what birds I can observe and what I can observe them eating. And so I went and got some bird seed so that I can see which kinds of birds will come and eat the bird seed. I'm also hoping that by making a bird feeder and hanging it outside near my sit spot, that will allow me to observe birds and other things about birds, like how they move or what time of day they come out, a little bit more easily. Okay, so to do this, you're going to need a couple of things. You'll need some bird seed, you'll need some string, scissors, a toilet paper or paper towel roll, a fork or a knife, something to spread the peanut butter on, which you'll also need, and then a paper plate. So the first thing I'm going to do with my, I cut a paper towel roll in half, but the first thing I'm going to do is make a little hole for the string. So I'm going to take my scissors and kind of fold it just a little bit and make a little cut there. And then a little cut on the other side. And I'm going to take my string, I'm going to kind of cut it maybe the length of my whole arm. But you can decide how long you want it to be based on where you're going to hang it. So I'm going to put my string through those two little holes that I cut. Like that. And I'm going to tie it together at the top. There we go. That's going to be perfect for the branch that I want to hang this on. Okay. The next step is to get the bird seed to stick to this. So this is where the peanut butter comes in. So I'm going to open the jar, and you don't need very much. So I'm just going to get kind of one scoop. I'm going to stick my fingers in the toilet paper roll, and that will help me hold on to it without getting peanut butter all over my hands. Although I do like eating peanut butter. Okay, so I'm just going to spread the peanut butter all over the outside. Looks like I'm going to need one more scoop. You don't have to use peanut butter for this. You can really use anything that you've got at home. So you might have something else that's sticky. I think you could probably do this with any other kind of butter, like almond butter or nut butter or sunflower butter. You could probably use regular butter or honey. Or even if you have leftover fat or lard from some meat that you've been cooking. So if you're not sure what you might have at your house to do this, you can ask a grown-up and see what ideas they have for something around that's sticky. There we go. Okay, so now that I've covered the whole outside with peanut butter, I'm just going to shake some of my bird seed into this plate because I want to roll my bird feeder in the bird seed. So I'm just going to kind of press it in there to start. One thing I noticed too is that after the birds come and start eating the bird seed, you can just add a little bit more peanut butter or even just re-roll the bird feeder in the bird seed later. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to keep turning it around in my bird seed until it's totally covered. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go over to the tree and hang it near my sit spot. Okay, environmental detective friends, we're here near my sit spot, and this is going to be the perfect tree to hang the bird feeder. And so what I'm going to do is just gently pull down this branch and gently kind of push the branch and the leaves through the opening of my bird feeder. Okay. Great. Okay, perfect. I can't wait to sit in my sit spot and watch to see which birds come and eat the bird seed.
What do you wonder about the birds?